how we go. There is this blind curve out here, and you see the enormous monolithic rock structure kind of setup that Nandi Hills has, and bougainvilleas across the wall. So guys, this is the starting of Nandi Hills, and here you have a nice tender coconut shop run by this gentleman, and you can leave your bags and park your vehicles here and then begin your 1.5 kilometer trek from this route. So this is the right way to do Nandi Hills rather than burning petrol or diesel. Burn your own calories and then explore Nandi Hills. Okay, this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. So let's check this out. The path seems to be totally staired. They put stairs for the entire path, hopefully. Let's check that out. Looks a bit rustic, and it should be scenic. Let's see. A small water tank out here. This must be water coming out from one of the springs, I guess. Nice and clear. Small temple en route. Let's continue. Nice and cloudy day. Covers you sometimes from the sun, and then gives you a few small glimpses of the rays. Very ideal to trek or walk in such a climate. It's amazing. Now the first interesting features we come across kind of an ancient toll gate. You can see green tinted rocks. Pretty ancient. Seems pretty ancient. Gopura, as we call it in the local language. All throughout you find these weeds, but thankfully no Parthenium yet. And then you get a glimpse of the eucalyptus way back there. And you see a gulmohar tree out here with a pretty good foliage, a flat roof kind of a foliage, very serene, very beautiful. You come across some nice trails, deep trails. And there are some display boards out here. This should be a pump house with a forest guard out there. And here you see the local fauna that is available, that exists in this region. Most of them being reptiles. Nice. Let's see if we can find a bump between bump into any of one of these guys. Otherwise, we continue. Now, let's see. Yeah, continuing long flight of steps, inviting you to walk over them. No wonder this route has very less takers, because it makes you break into a sweat within the first 15 minutes for sure. No wonder. In a way, it's good, you know what I mean. If you don't know, then you know. So this is almost halfway through, I guess, because I don't see further land after that crest out there. And this is as much of a view that you could get from here, because of the thick foliage. I was unable to view a clearer scene. Maybe up ahead you might find some more. And the usual noisy, rowdy crowd that you find at such places. And here is a pump master at the pumping station. And we carry on. The steps turn a bit tall out here, almost double the height, so more energy expended, and you continue further. And here is where you could see for the first time through the beginning some sort of a view of the surroundings, as there is no foliage out here. Let me show you a few things now that it's pretty clear from this height. We've gained quite a lot of altitude. And then there's Sultan Pete, the beginning of Sultan Pete, and that is Skandagiri, the neighboring peak to Nandi. And this is another peak that I cannot name as of yet, because I don't know what it's called. I would say pretty close. Pretty close. Let's see. OMG! Extremely windy out here. Our Dragon winds at the speed of around 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. You can just feel the wind gushing through the tree and the leaves. Now we are almost equal to, or maybe slightly less than that peak, and you can see, I noticed this very aesthetically built temple complex. Must be a new temple, and they're building it pretty well. Looks good. And you can see a couple of lakes in the region. That is Chikbalapur, most probably Chikbalapur it is. And there you can see a quarry that is very evident from the Skandagiri peak, because the noise is constantly there. And you could also, I think that must be Shiva Gange. The small peak out there you see there, small sharp edged peak out there, must be Shiva Gange. horizon is a bit clear. And we continue the climb. Seems to be quite a climb. And you have a rock face out here. Pretty neat. And out here near the rock face, you can see a small entrance out there, another checkpost. And this is how the view looks. Hasn't changed much, of course. Just wanted to put it on the records. A lot of lemongrass covering the path out here. Pretty neat. And windy as usual. You do come to a place where you are covered and you can listen to your own breathing for a break. And of course, the usual honking from the road traffic that goes to the peak of Nandi Hills. Watch your steps. They're uneven, so you gotta watch your steps. So one advice I would have for you guys is get some Odomos or insect repellent, because these areas a lot of mosquitoes. So you better get sprayed up and then start to wreck, or covered up rather. There seems to be a small temple complex out here. Now I would argue that we're almost there, because this is one of those solid structures that you get to see on the top of the Nandi Hills. And this temple complex, as you see, is out here en route to climb. And you do observe quite a few interesting features down here. You seem to have some sort of a cottage in series for staying, or maybe some sort of a hotel. And then you have the aesthetically built temple that you can see already, modern day temple that too is aesthetically built like the olden days, and you can clearly see the quarry from there. And the usual tank bunds, and then you have lakes. And interesting feature is these huge leaves. Oh, what you call them? You could comment below and let me know if you care enough. But then, yeah, pretty interesting. And then you have the usual companions, 2 doggies, who are following, or rather leading the path, thinking that I might feed them something. Unfortunately no, because I am just carrying a bottle of water, and I am doing this trek, for the record, in a fasted state. The last big bad meal I had was last night, and this trek is done totally fasted. Hence, I could blame the burning of my calves and the delay in climbing, probably, or maybe running out of breath, on my fasted state. Whatever. Oh, nice solid block of wood. You hardly get to see this. Most probably, this is most probably a eucalyptus trunk. Yeah. Nandi Hills has a very unique, or rather exclusive aroma to it, or smell rather. Something to do with the eucalyptus, probably. The mixture of eucalyptus along with water vapor, rather. It's a very unique one. I can immediately say yes, even if I was brought here blindfolded, I can say, or rather make out and guess accurately that I'm in Nandi Hills. Yeah. And you finally have a big checkpost. And I think you're almost there. Many ways out here. Many ways. And I take this one. Let's see where it leads to. Should we take this one or? Two roads diverged into the woods, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference by Robert Frost. But this seems to be a route taken by almost everyone. Just making light of the situation. Very interesting. Very interesting pathways. I must say. Let's check this one out. So all the peace you had while climbing up goes to a toss, thanks to the crowd. And these seem to be pretty contemporary modern cottages with air conditioning. Interesting. I seem to have taken quite a longer path here. These are cottages of Nandi Hills. So we are almost there, I guess. This is the canopy. Sorry, these are the canopies that one finds. Where the picnic canopies out there. So we're almost there. Almost there. And now let's call this a conclusion of this trek. We should conclude soon. I would call this as a reference point, and this as the peak for my trek. And then take a seat and rest for a while before I go down again. And out here you have the inhabitants of Nandi Hills, the monkeys, roaming around, going about the day uninhibited. Beautiful place, nice breeze for now, and this is where I would like to conclude. I think I took around 45 to 1 hour most probably. I'll take a look at the first video and then put it in the description of how long it takes to climb the Nandi Hills by foot through the trekking route, the right way to do the Nandi Hills visit by foot. Until next time guys, thank you for watching. Me signing out. Ciao. I really like these guys, you know. They just creep close to you, checking if you have something to eat, but then sorry guys, nothing in here except for water that you guys will get pretty easily. And there's one guy behind the bush. He's doing something. He's foraging for some stuff from some garbage that people have put out here, the tourists. So it's beautiful to observe kale kale badal, as they call it in Hindi, and beautiful grey mountains and a little bit of rain out here. This place, yeah. And there you go. There out there, you see a little bit of clouds and not exactly clouds, but rain in a particular small spot, and the clouds moving at a pretty good pace. They're moving right from where we see. You see, they're moving right from this particular vantage point, and you can see the quarrying place out there, the region where it's getting quarried, and that is Kandagiri, where the clouds are touching and going the peak. That's pretty fast, huh? Clouds are going pretty fast, and the raining has intensified here near that lake. Wow, very interesting. Always something to see. No wonder people just barge into this place so often as not. And these two guys continue their foraging, plumaging through the lemongrass. Trying to find something to eat probably. Well, the weather is playing up quite a bit, but it is in a way good, very sexy, if I may call it. Thankfully, I have a umbrella. I'm not sure how far it can protect me, so just getting along with it. Let's see where it goes.